Hey YouTube, it's Reverend Lance. Today we're going to cover Eve's secret. You are not the father. Eve and Lily were the two lesbians who enjoyed having sex with each other. They've been seeing each other for the past 2 years. One day, Steve told Lily that he needed to go to France to take care of some company-related matters. He also told Lily that he would not be back in town for 15 days. When he left the home, Eve went to Lily's house because her husband Adam had a similar retreat. He was going to France, and Adam told Eve he would not be back in town for 15 days. Eve goes to Lily's house to see how she's doing. She was angry that her husband did not invite her in the retreat. Lily felt the same way, so Eve and Lily had sex. While they were engaging in foreplay, Steve opened his door, catching them in the act. His mouth dropped. How on earth could you put your mouth on something that gets bloody, you female dog? Asked Steve. Men were told that they cannot perform genitalia services on women. They cannot perform all genitalia services on women at that time. Eve and Lily engaged in lesbian intercourse because their husband would not perform all genitalia services on them. Men were only allowed to perform all services on their gender. Men cannot perform all services on the opposite gender. The reason is because it defiles your temple. 1 Corinthians 6:18-20. Steve, please don't tell Adam that you caught me performing all services on Lily. Steve said, well, Eve, you have a choice. You can either be my slave for life and I keep your secret hidden and I won't expose it, or you can choose to reject being my slave and I go and tell Adam everything that happened. She said, I'll do anything you ask. So Eve had sex with Steve. She got pregnant and gave birth to Cain. She lied to her husband Adam and told him he was the father of Cain. Adam always wondered, where did Cain inherit his violent behavior from? It was once believed that you inherit violence. So Cain couldn't have got his violent behavior from his side of the family, nor could he have gotten it from Eve's side of the family. So the only logical conclusion is that Cain was violent because his father was a sodomite. It did not come from any of their genes. So from this moment on, Adam began to suspect that Cain was not his child. So sodomy at this time would be the blame for society's wrongdoing. In life, everyone needs a good guy, a hero, and a villain or a scapegoat. The scapegoat was always the villain. The villain exists in order to steal your soul, kill the ungodly, and destroy people, places, and things. The villain was always referred to as a noun. in the English language. The noun could be a person, place, or thing. It makes up the perfect triangle. A villain lives by doing one or all of three things: stealing, in other words, he will steal your soul. He will kill the body, and he will destroy relationships. John 10:10. Justice, according to Freedom Writers, doesn't always mean the bad guy goes to jail. It only means that somebody has to pay for the crime. In the case of the villain, the sodomite and the lesbian were the scapegoats. The sodomite was a villain because he failed to reproduce children. The lesbian was a villain because she used sex toys to satisfy her desire for penetration. Eve and Lily had sex together. Steve caught them in the act. He had leverage on Eve because if she didn't do as he said, he would expose her secret to Adam. This family had a ton of secrets. Each person was afraid of being exposed. Exposure could result in death. Eve agreed to be Steve's personal slave. She would be forced to perform all genital services on Steve. She would even have to have sexual intercourse with Steve. One day, Eve got pregnant while having sex with Steve. She gave birth to a child named Cain. She lied and said Cain was the son of Adam. Eve wanted Adam to be the father of her children. Why? Because they had money. He had money. In this day and age, money talks, BS walks. Both Adam and Eve loved money. Money is good for buying things. Money is known for buying power, status, fame, fortune, and happiness. Adam was a famous man. Eve was a prostitute. Adam and Eve had a unique connection. It was not one based on love. In fact, Adam and Eve were infatuated with each other. I went to bed one night and dreamed of a rose that did not exist. It was a rose that made us happy. It was a rose. This story will blow your mind. It is a story of how the world came to be. All secrets are meant to be exposed. In the case of Adam and Eve, they kept their secret hidden. The secret was that they were evil. Genesis 2:17. Evil is live spelled backwards. Our purpose is to treat each other like animals. I am here to expose the war in Armageddon. Eve kept a diary of all the events that took place in her lifetime. First, Eve was the mother of Cain. Cain was evil because of his father, Steve. Steve was a sodomite. That's why Cain inherited evil. He was evil on the inside. Steve started his life off by having sex with men. He founded a company called Naked Comeback. Naked Comeback was a saloon that all men went to. Only men could attend these services. When Cain found out that Steve was his father, he built a city named after him in the land of Canaan. The way he found out was through an organization called Facebook. Cain was poor because he killed Abel for not performing fellatio services on him. Cain knew Abel was weak. His weakness was symbolized by his father Adam. So the way Cain killed Abel is that he took away his freedom. Abel is landed in jail in the land of Canaan, and God asked Abel, Cain, where's your brother at? He said, am I my brother's keeper? In other words, do I have to free my brother for all the chaos he caused me? Hell no. Adam was a weak link. Eve had an affair with Steve because she knew his life was based on fear. Adam was afraid of people. And to be more specific, Adam was shy around women. Adam allowed Eve to convince him to eat from the tree of evil because he was weak in 4 different areas. Number 1, Adam was mentally weak. Number 2, Adam was emotionally weak. Number 3, Adam was physically weak. And number 4, Adam was spiritually weak. When it came to finances, though, Adam was strong in this area. What good is money if you are a mental wreck? What good is money if you are an emotional wreck? These were the qualities that Eve did not like about her husband Adam. And for this reason, she was secretly having an affair with both Lily and Steve and have a child by Steve and lie and say that that child was Adam's, when in reality, it was his best friend Steve. This story is to be continued, and I encourage you to tune in to find out how this story ends. You can subscribe to my channel to get updates on these stories and more.